Hello and welcome to this special interview with the top management of Paytm. Now, legend has it that there is a poster at the Paytm headquarters in Noida that says "Go big or go home." Well, go big is what Vijay Shekhar Sharma, the founder of Paytm, has decided to do with his 18,300 crore rupee IPO, the biggest in Indian history. Vijay Shekhar Sharma and Madhur Deora, the top management of Paytm. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on Moneycontrol. And joining me on this interview is my colleague Priyanka Sahai, who's been tracking Paytm very closely in the run-up to the IPO. Thank you both very much for joining us, Vijay Shekhar and Madhur. First of all, congratulations on pulling off the biggest IPO. Of course, the listing is remaining, but it is still a historic milestone. Vijay, it's been a grueling 21 years for you, long journey. What finally made you decide to hit Dalal Street? Was it to give an exit to shareholders, considering 10,000 crore from this is offer for sale? What were the factors that finally decided to make you go to Dalal Street?
First of all, thank you so much for having us here, Chandra and Priyanka. It's absolute pleasure seeing you. You two are one of those torchbearer of us all, and I can say that there is a tremendous amount of work that goes behind running a company, and this kind of milestone where we can go to public audience, public mass investors to go for a public IPO is incredible. I mean, we would have never believed that it would happen so soon. To be honest about it, I did not think that it would happen so soon. And I think the pandemic sort of accelerated every journey, the swing from consumers mindset or a merchant mindset to even readiness for an IPO. I can say that the reason that we're doing is because we believe that it is better for us to be part of becoming an India story, India listed entity instead of waiting for a foreign listing. Because one point of time there was a discussion whether we would list in India or international. We sort of took a decision that it will be India, and then we said if it is India, then how about doing it now? So that's how we said that let's quickly turn around. Surprisingly, our IPO started in the month of April of for this, which means that there was much less amount of time that we had to prepare. But at the same point of time, I would say the company maturity and scale has been tremendously good for us.
Vijay, you already have one of the highest number of users in India. It's almost around 337 million users that are said. Not to forget around 21 million merchants. Take us through once you have this IPO proceeds, will that be used to expand this user base, expand the merchant base, or to monetize from the existing base that you have through cross-selling things to them?
Well, I believe, Priyanka, our ambition is out and clear, 500 million Indians. So that is sort of the holy grail that we believe that we will cross the chasm, number one. So user base will be headed towards that as a milestone, number one. Number two is that we do believe that consumer and merchants and customers who are on our platform have an opportunity to generate revenues and profits for the platform, which means that not all 500 million of them will be that profit worthy or revenue worthy. But our obligation and success is benchmarked by how many people we bring formal financial services to, how many people we bring to the mainstream of economy, and that I believe is 500 million as a benchmark. So we will continue to invest and acquire the customers, even though there are 337 million customers, and we are out there for acquiring even no more number of customers. A certain of them which are mature on our platform becomes revenue earning, as we say.
Right.
Vijay, one thing that really stands out about Paytm is, how diverse it is today vis-a-vis before. I mean, it was still easy to kind of understand, track Paytm, say, a decade ago or even 7 years ago. So for a retail investor watching this interview today who wants to take part in the Paytm story, how will you really break down what Paytm does, how you earn, and what the potential is going to be?
So the Paytm is primary story of payments. Payment is our core mode where we acquire consumer and merchant, and these consumer and merchant are offered an opportunity. Merchants are offered an opportunity to sell to the consumer, which is a commerce and cloud business, and then we offer financial services with our partners. So payment, commerce, financial services, that's a stack. Obviously, every line item of that, I mean, these are headlines, is large business by itself. And interesting thing here is, Chandra, here that We don't have to spend CAC, customer acquisition cost, on everything out there. So if a customer comes for payment on our platform, there is an opportunity that the person can, over the period, by repeat usage and behavior, can become eligible for a credit from our partner. So they can take a postpaid and credit. So now we earn some money on that fraction of distribution. And then similarly, this customer someday may book a bus ticket, and then we earn a fraction of revenue on that basis. So I would say a large number of customers converted to a small percentage of who take commerce or financial services makes all the revenue. And we believe more and more customers will mature towards this bucket. So it's a easy to understand business. When you look at it, payment is a customer acquiring and retention mode. And there is a revenue, like I said, that merchant pay for us to hold these customers on wallet and postpaid. And then there is a commerce and financial services. The best way to look at it is that how many customers, how much of revenue, and what is the contribution margin, because that means that the company is able to monetize per customer better.
Right. Vijay, tell us about some of the new initiatives, some of the new, verticals that Bitcoin has gotten into. Let's talk about broking. Let's talk about lending. How have these verticals played out? And also, going forward, what will be some of the focus areas of the company?
The most important financial service vertical and overall company vertical that we launched in lockdown, if you will, was credit, where the customers and merchants were offered credit from our financial institution partners like HDFC, ICICI Bank, Clicks Capital, Aditya Birla Finance. And one of the spend credit product that we've created, Paytm Postpaid, is very, very popular there. And this, I believe, is, I'm sure you know this, the number of customers are so small that there is a couple of 100% growth that we can issue literally year on year there. And at the same point in time, the important thing will be that credit as a need of this country, credit as a disbursement of this country is an important thing. RBI in 2020 brought a guideline which made this business model far more kosher than earlier assumed to be, in a little bit of gray. And what could be that it was called lending, a digital lending platform guideline, meaning what can a platform like Paytm can do and what has an obligation of a partner lender. And in clearly there, we as Paytm can distribute, help acquire customers, serve technologically, and help them do a few more things. But we cannot own the customer KYC or let's say credit bureau reporting, or let's say underwriting, which is the most important asset or the important thing that a partner has to do. So the keyword is, Priyanka, that credit, which is a huge demand in this country in an organic way. And then secondly, people moving from physical world to digital world. And third, the ticket size being smaller thanks to the digital disbursement makes an extraordinary huge opportunity. I'm sure you know this country's largest of the banks are called so because they issue the biggest amount of credit. Now, with partnering with these largest of the banks or NBFC, we believe that we will be able to amplify our business opportunity here. So that's the number one product that I am very excited about. And second product is the payment acceptance is in a still very early days. You must have seen our QR code becoming soundbox, becoming the POS UTC device. We have a lot more equipment coming in queue, so that will be our expertise.
Absolutely.
Right. I have a quick question.
Yes.
Sorry. Yeah, Priyanka.
Yeah, we just wanted to understand, Vijay, going forward, what will be your plans for small banking finance license? And if there is, you just spoke about that you will be partnering with the banks, right? So is that why you'll not be applying for an NBFC? Is a small finance bank license in works?
You are right, Priyanka, that our, as a Paytm, which is 197 Communication Limited, which is going IPO, the plan is very, very clear that we will not apply for NBFC license. We would remain focused on distribution and partnering with financial institution, because RBI has even clarified this as a business model. That's even more important to quote out here, that you can be a digital distribution platform with these scope of work and revenues. So our approach here is that we as Paytm, we as 197 Communication will remain disbursable. We will not apply for NBFC. As far as Paytm Payment Bank is concerned, it had its own journey. It potentially, on the day when RBI permits, it could apply for Paytm small finance bank license and whatnot. And that, I think, logical to do, because there will be many other products that they will be able to distribute because of that. So in other words, the Paytm's plan, it is not contingent or changing on the basis of payment bank becoming a small finance bank.
Right, Chandra, you were asking.
Vijay, in terms of the valuation, have you left enough money in the table for shareholders, or do you think it's a fair valuation in terms of the price band that you're looking at?
Oh, I'm looking at the money in the table. Madhur has an answer.
Listen, we absolutely think so. That is an important benchmark for us, which is not only the valuation, but also making sure that we have really high quality investors who are joining as a part of the journey, right? And obviously, SEBI has certain rules with respect to anchor investors and main book and so on. But at least to the extent that we could, we wanted to make sure that we get really, really high quality investors on Paytm's cap table, people who understand this journey, right? Who understand how big commerce and cloud can be, how big payments can be, how big financial services can be. I know there have been a lot of numbers sort of rumored, none of them from us, by the way, but
Okay.
numbers, some folks were rumoring 25 and 22 and so
25,
on.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it was important for us that we leave enough and more, not just for retail investors, which should always be an objective, but also for highest quality institutional investors, right? This exercise was not about getting the last rupee or dollar of valuation.
Right. Madhur, just one quick follow-up question before I hand it back to Priyanka. In terms of all the businesses that Paytm has today, it is a full-fledged financial services provider alongside payments. Have any of the businesses attained enough scale where it is generating cash to fund other businesses? This is again a question that we have.
So our model is that payments and our payments business, consumer and merchants, that makes revenue and it's profitable. And then all of these other businesses, which is whether it's commerce and cloud or financial services, add significant profitability and contribution margin on top, which is why what you would have seen is that last year, our contribution profit for the whole year was about 13%, 13%. And in the first quarter, that number was 27%, right? So we're seeing significant jump in contribution margin, partly because of payments becoming more efficient, but partly because other line items of business, which are very high contribution margin kicking in. So we are seeing that trajectory in our business. 2 years ago, by the way, this number was negative. So we have come a long way in becoming very, very efficient as a business and having these new line items contribute. One thing that I'll point to, which is in our RHP, which we filed last night, is that we did 2.8 million loans in the last quarter, right? Just in the September quarter alone, we facilitated 2.8 million loans. In the entire year last year, that was 3 million, right? And that's a profitable business, and that is growing very, very fast. So we see multiple such businesses, whether it is cloud businesses, advertising, commerce, or financial services, becoming very sizable in terms of their contribution margin.
So I'll have two quick questions there. One is for Madhur, you, and the other, Vijay, if you could take that. So, there's a lot of competition in the last couple of years. The competition in sectors such as lending, broking, overall finance has intense. So going forward, what sort of an outlook Paytm has for this? And also, Madhur would also like to take you through some of the numbers that Paytm has reported. So Q1 FY22 shows growth in revenue, but there was also losses due to higher expenses. And the losses, I'm told, stood at 382 crore for the quarter ended June 2021. So how will you grow with profitability? What is the vision there?
Sure. You want to take the first competition question, and then I can come back to your second question.
So one of the things, Priyanka, that you should see is India market has two beauties. Actually, third also I'll add. So two key factors that it has large number of customers underserved. That is like you can have 10 more large banks and then India will not be able to say that we have more than enough. I mean, I'm sure you understand that GDP growth is possible only when bank starts to lend or lending institution starts to lend and that capital goes into the economy. And that possibility can only happen when there is so much of competition, and none of the competition is a zero-sum competition. It always have addressed a new segment, new market, new opportunities, so to say. So first of all, I personally believe that in India, we need more number and type of companies, institutions who are able to accelerate credit to the small person, credit to the business or a individual who's not yet been able to. This is unserved or underserved market. Second is that there is a large number of customer base like you and me who's using smartphone more often than trying to think that there will be an internet, desktop internet, or a walking into a branch. So I'm calling about desktop internet-led business model also being dead here. And desktop internet model or a branch model is continuously at a decline because now more and more things are happening on smartphone. Again, so that's the second market, which is again a Paytm market, potentially as an opportunity. And third is a market where what we are seeing is that there are new products to serve the customer. There is a particular type of credit insurance or wealth or sort of bank product, but there is a newer product required in the market. So thanks to all these, I cannot say this, that for next 3 to 5 years, we are not even concerned about what kind of growth numbers potentially could come, because the only swing that you would see is that due to something beyond our hands meaning some market situation or some macro situation or something else. In other words, India's financial services sector is continuously going to grow, and we all will have an advantage of it, including our Paytm. So I'm not at all concerned about the competition. I'm actually saying that more number of players grow the market. We saw it in payments, by the way.
Right. Madhu, if you take us through the numbers.
Yeah, sorry, there's a lot of background echo. I just wanted to maybe just add to Vijay's point that India is a very different market, right? Like in the US, for e-commerce to grow, malls had to shut down, where there's a huge amount of untapped opportunity. Just to go back to your question on financials, I think the thing that we are focused on is growing our contribution margin. In the meantime, I just want to be clear that we will continue to make investments in growing our merchant network, in growing the technologies that we require, and in growing sort of our brand and so on. We'll continue to make those investments as we go along, but the focus is to get to very meaningful contribution profits.
Right, Chandra.
Right. I know we're running out of time. I'm just going to end with one last remark. Vijay, from a village in Aligarh to helming the biggest IPO in India, it's the dream of startup legend, stuff of startup legend. Nothing can take that away from you. What emotions are you going through today? This is also coming at a momentous time for India. Did you dance to that Lavaris song which was going viral on social media, or did you celebrate in some other way? Vijay, I think you're on mute.
Sandra, so first of all, to clarify, that video is a 3-year-old video. So
yeah, we know that, yes, but it just gotten viral all over again.
Yeah.
But what's going through your mind, Vijay? It's a classic story, rise with India story.
I actually want to say that we all, in folklore ways, write the great American dream. I believe the time has come to write stories and books of the great Indian dream. And I do believe
you personify that.
I wish that we as Paytm and teammates become the champion of it and stand for and inspire many more to come to do that. And you would have seen that we believe we are the change agent that will bring this financial services to the nook and corner, which will grow the common economy, and we all will rise again. And that means that our success is not a success of generating more money or more profits. Our success will be the success when the financial services, whether it is credit, whether it is banking, whether it is insurance, is not a premium customer's product, but it is a common customer's product in an easy to understand way. Chandra and Priyanka, I cannot tell you how elated I am. The only thing I can say is that today is the day when we are starting a journey to invite many more to join our mission. And to everyone who's potentially going to join our mission, this is a mission to change the fate of this country, not the mission to make just simple money. It will be understatement, and it will be a failure of us to benchmark the money that Paytm journey makes. It will be a better success that how much of our economy grew because of our effort.
On that note, Vijay and Madhur, thank you very much for joining us on Moneycontrol. And here's wishing you the best for the biggest IPO that India has seen so far.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for having us here. Bye.